Hey, what's happening, guys? What is going on YouTube? This is our new segment, Q&A with Jay. My name is Johnny. You've tuned into Rules for Rebels, and today we're talking Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So if you're already trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, this video is going to be very, very basic. There's probably not a lot for you guys to gain from this video. However, maybe you can, I know sometimes when different people explain things, it may make more sense in a certain way coming from somebody else or how one person phrases it. So if you guys have any advice for John, if you have a better way of explaining this or laying this out, feel free to do so in the comments section below. One of the great things about YouTube, I think, is that oftentimes I gain more knowledge from actually reading the comments than I do from actually watching the video. So the point of my YouTube channel in general is to kind of start a discussion. So John Bricado asked, it would be nice if somebody could make a video for a novice person who has been reading about Bitcoin but does not know the first thing about it. For example, how do you buy a Bitcoin? How much does it cost? Is it a coin you could physically hold? Does its value change during the course of a day? I've been hearing all the hype about cryptocurrencies, but I wish someone with knowledge about Bitcoin could do a video, something like Bitcoin for Dummies. So a person with no experience at all would know where to start. Example, how much minimum is needed to start and where do you buy Bitcoin? Okay, John, so I think this is a great question. There actually are a ton of great resources out there on YouTube that kind of explain everything about Bitcoin, but I understand that there's a lot of stuff to sort through. There's a lot of noise out there. And even though a lot of the intro to Bitcoin videos are great, when it starts getting into mining and things like that, I think a lot of newbies can get really confused trying to wrap their heads around, like, how is mining done? How do these algorithms work? Sometimes people start getting into like the theory of Bitcoin and investment strategies. And I think a lot of times that can kind of cause a person new to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to be even more confused, because when you're first getting started, it really doesn't matter how you know how to trust a system. It really doesn't matter how they're mined. Just trust that people smarter than you and I have vetted it since it's open source. It's obviously been going on for several years. It hasn't crashed. It hasn't gone to zero. It hasn't been hacked. So, I think if we kind of take that out of the equation and just kind of, it is good to know about what you're investing in. I do think as you continue your Bitcoin education, it is good to kind of gain some technical knowledge about it. But as far as just getting started, all you really need is to kind of know the absolute basics. So let's kind of start going through your question one by one. So how do you buy a Bitcoin and how much does it cost? Or I guess we'll start with how to buy a Bitcoin. So there are all types of sites out there for buying Bitcoin. We have sites like Coinbase, which is probably one of the most popular. Gemini is another very popular one. Coinbase and Gemini, in my opinion, are probably two of the largest and most reputable exchanges out there. Coinbase is fully insured. One cool thing about Gemini is your USD funds on there, your fiat money on there, are actually FDIC insured. Your Bitcoins and your cryptocurrencies aren't, but your fiat is, so that's kind of good to know. These companies are well regulated. They're insured, all that good jazz, trustworthy companies. They've been around for a while. I think Coinbase is probably the biggest player in the space. They're the most well-known, and they're very, very user-friendly. If you've ever used online banking, you'll very, very easily be able to use Coinbase. I think I do have some videos on my channel about how to actually make a buy, if you want to check out my channel. But I mean, it's really pretty intuitive and pretty straightforward. I like Coinbase because it'll allow you to use credit cards, debit cards, bank wires, and ACH transfers. And one change they recently made is giving you access to your Bitcoin, your Litecoin, or your Ethereum immediately. Whereas before there used to be like I don't know, anywhere from like a 4 to 7 day waiting period waiting for those funds to clear. So if you bought Bitcoin today at 5,000, tomorrow it rose to 7,000, you wouldn't actually be able to trade it. Well, they've started giving you access to your coins immediately, which means you can trade them right away. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I would say Coinbase or Gemini are probably your best bets. There are other sites like CoinMama and a few others. If anybody else has a recommendation, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I'm actually in the USA. So, depending on where you're from, you may have different options. If somebody out there who's not from the US wants to throw out like a good place to buy for Canadians, for Europeans, for people in the UK, etc., I think that may be helpful to some people. Let's see, how much does it cost? Well, right now at the making of this video, Bitcoin's trading at, it's been kind of a wild ride, but as of the moment I'm making this video, Bitcoin's trading at $7,034. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You don't need $7,000 to get into Bitcoin. You can buy 0.01 Bitcoin. You can buy 0.001 Bitcoin. I don't recall if Coinbase or any of these other sites have like a limit on the smallest amount you can buy, but there are fees and things like that. So ideally, you probably want to buy a halfway decent, worthwhile amount. One other thing I'll just mention, I wouldn't recommend a new person buy here, but there is a site called localbitcoins.com. What localbitcoins.com does, it's almost like an OfferUp or a Craigslist. It's a site that coordinates buyers and sellers in a specific area. So you can find somebody who's willing to sell you Bitcoin for cash in your city. Some people do it via bank accounts or bank deposits. Other people use PayPal. I would strongly advise not accepting PayPal for cryptocurrencies because it's very easy for somebody to claim their account was hacked or do a chargeback. And generally, I would recommend people new to Bitcoin don't wind up meeting up with strangers transacting Bitcoin. It would be very easy for me or somebody more knowledgeable about Bitcoin than yourself to scam you out of Bitcoin. A buddy of mine who's fairly smart with cryptos, not the smartest, but fairly smart with cryptos, had been using them for a while, wound up getting scammed out of $500. He met a guy up at a grocery store. The guy essentially did a double spend, which means he essentially sent $500 of Bitcoin to his friend, sent $500 worth of Bitcoin to my friend who was buying the Bitcoins from him. My buddy just saw that it was sent. He saw that there were no confirmations, but he was like, I saw with my own two eyes this guy send the money. Well, at that point, both these transactions are off to the races, and whichever one essentially gets 6 confirmations first is the one that wins out. I'm probably overcomplicating things here, but the point is, if you're dealing with people face-to-face for cash, or even strangers and not a reputable company, it's very easy for somebody to take advantage of you. In regards to Bitcoin having physical coins, the answer to that is no, but yes, sort of in some circumstances. So there are no physical Bitcoins in the world of Bitcoin, right? It's a digital currency. It's a cryptocurrency. You hold private keys that give you access to your coins or prove your ownership of those coins. However, that said, you will see people online selling physical Bitcoins, and these come in 2 forms. Some people are literally just selling little, gold or silver plated coins with a Bitcoin logo on them. You can find these on eBay and Amazon. Those have really no tie to Bitcoins. It's kind of a novelty item. There are, however, people who will sell you Bitcoins on a physical Bitcoin. I don't recall the name of the company, but somebody sells, essentially it's kind of a novelty. If you wanted to give somebody Bitcoin as a gift and you actually wanted something tangible to give them, there are companies that will sell you a physical Bitcoin. Oftentimes there's a hologram sticker on there. And when you pull the sticker off, the private keys to that Bitcoin are on the physical sticker, and you can actually put that into a wallet and claim those Bitcoins or sweep those Bitcoins. Now, this would be like if I wanted to buy my nephew Bitcoins for his christening or something like that, I may want to buy a physical coin just because I actually have something to put in a card and give to somebody. I think it comes with instructions on how to claim them. So in that sense, people are making physical Bitcoins. I should say people are selling you Bitcoins along with a trinket to make it tangible. But in a true definition of Bitcoin, no, there is no such thing as a physical Bitcoin. How does the value of Bitcoin change throughout the day? Well, unlike the, stock market, which, opens at 8 and closes at 3:30 or whatever it is, unlike even Forex markets, even though there's typically always a market opening up at some point around the world, I think Forex markets may at some point throughout the day close down. Well, with cryptocurrencies, the market is essentially running 24 hours a day. You can always trade. Bitcoin is constantly trading. And as you may have heard, Bitcoin can be pretty volatile. So, just today, for example, Bitcoin went from, let's see, what do we got? Just today, we've had a low of $6,900.73 and a high of $7,427.43. So just today, we've had swings of over $500. Bitcoin has been known to move thousands of dollars in a single day. Bitcoin can be pretty volatile, but yes, it is constantly moving. It is constantly changing. So where does this leave us? Now, we're already at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I wanted to keep this video kind of brief. I feel like I've addressed the questions here. Just in terms of anything else worthwhile to add for a complete newbie, I would suggest buying your Bitcoins off either Coinbase or Gemini. I will include a link in the description box below. In full disclosure, it is my affiliate link. If you sign up and spend $100 or buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, I get $10 free. However, you also get $10 free. So essentially, if you drop $100 into Bitcoin, you can get yourself a 10% bonus by using my link. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link. I think both of those sites are very reputable, very trustworthy, and Coinbase is very user-friendly and makes it easy for newbies to trade with. If you're just starting out, I would suggest maybe buying something with Bitcoin. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but buy something with Bitcoin. Maybe go open up a wallet with Electrum and send some Bitcoins to yourself to another wallet. Basically, the point here, what I'm trying to get across is you just want to get used to using Bitcoin, right? Learn how to spend Bitcoin, learn how to send Bitcoin, learn how to receive Bitcoin. Do a few small transactions. There will be fees involved, so it will cost you some money to do this. But I think it's a good exercise in getting comfortable with how to use Bitcoin. So you're at the very least going to want to learn how to send it as well as how to receive it. For somebody completely new, take your time, learn a little bit every day, learn a little bit every week. Some good resources. I'm a big fan of Andres Antonopoulos. Andres Antonopoulos. Check him out on YouTube. He has a ton of videos. He does a lot of speaking events and seminars and Bitcoin meetups and things like that. He has a lot of great resources out there for newbies, as well as keeping you up on current events. And I feel like he's pretty unbiased. There's a lot of other great resources on YouTube. There's a lot of great explainer videos and whiteboard videos showing exactly what the mining process and things like that are like. And just take your time to learn slowly, pick up things as you go. And, you know, within a few weeks or a few months, you're going to be very, very comfortable with Bitcoin. As a newbie, I would suggest keeping your coins on Coinbase. A lot of people tell you don't keep your coins on exchanges. Exchanges can't be trusted. The industry has come a long way from where it was a few years ago. At one point, a site which was meant to trade magic cards wound up being the biggest Bitcoin exchange that was called Mt. Gox. The site was kind of a joke. The owner was a scammer. A lot of millions, what today would be worth millions and millions, if not billions of dollars, was lost on the site when it was hacked, or at the very least, the owner ran off with everybody's money. I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have come a long way since then. And by that, I mean they're licensed, they're insured, they're regulated. So while I still do think a hardware wallet is probably the best solution for your Bitcoins, as a newbie, I think there may be more chances that through your own error, you wind up losing Bitcoin, sending them to the wrong address, losing your keys or losing a seed. Until you're somewhat comfortable with Bitcoin, I think Coinbase or Gemini isn't a bad place to keep them. Something you may want to look into, again, a few weeks in after you've kind of got some experience, is Coinbase has something called a vault. So if you're not planning on trading your Bitcoins, you can send them off to a vault. In order to get them out, there will be a 2-day waiting period. There's also text and email verifications. And for those 2 days, they're going to bombard you with emails letting you know a withdrawal was initiated. This way, if anybody were to ever hack your account, that you would get plenty of notice. It's almost to the point of being annoying in letting you know that a withdrawal has been initiated. Also, on your exchange accounts, make sure you use 2FA or two-factor authentication. This means that when you log in, they will either send you a text message with a code which you will have to verify into Coinbase, or you can use Google Authenticator, which I actually recommend. It's more secure. I doubt that a hacker is going to want to come after a small Bitcoiner's money, but 2FA with a text message, phone numbers can be spoofed, and it's a little bit easier to hack than something like Google Authenticator. Make sure you always use 2FA or two-factor authentication on your Coinbase or Gemini account or Bittrex account. I think that's probably enough to get started. Once you start getting a little bit more familiar with Bitcoin, and or once you start putting serious money into Bitcoin, I would highly, highly, highly suggest picking yourself up a hardware wallet like either the Trezor, the Ledger, or the Keep Key. Is it Keep Key or Safe Key? Either way, those are kind of the three main ones. The Trezor and the Ledger are probably the more popular ones. The Ledger holds a few more alt currencies or alternative currencies, other cryptocurrencies. The Trezor, in my opinion, is a little bit more user-friendly. But if you're going to put a significant amount of money in Bitcoin, and if you plan on being in this cryptocurrency space for the long haul, would highly suggest you get a hardware wallet. I think that's probably enough to get you started. As you get more comfortable, if you want to start branching out into altcoins, I'm a big fan of Bittrex as a place to trade those. But I think we've covered enough to kind of get you comfortable buying your first Bitcoin and using using Bitcoin a little bit, sending, receiving, making some purchases, etc. So if you have any further questions, if anything in here wasn't clear, please drop a comment in the comment section below. For any of you guys who are more experienced with Bitcoin, if there's anything I left out, if there's anything that you think could be explained more clearly, or if you'd just like to give John your top 3 points, top 5 points, top 10 points about being a newbie to cryptocurrency and things that you wish you had known earlier, please help him out. Help out your fellow YouTubers who are just getting into cryptocurrency. Drop a comment in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want updates, ring that bell. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.